Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV of Frederick. My name is Callie Say and I'm here at Transwest and Horse Trailer Sales. So for those of you that aren't familiar with us, we're right off I-25, about 30 minutes north of Denver. We are Cimarron and Logan dealers, so if you're looking for a brand new trailer, we're going to either have a Cimarron or a Logan for you. And then if you're looking for used trailers, we take a large variety of trailers in on trade, so we've usually got an option that will work for you. We also have a huge selection of inventory that is being built currently. So if you're looking for something really specific that hasn't arrived just yet, we can look through our inventory on order and see if we have something that might work for you. And then last but not least, we are a big supplier of very custom built trailers. So Cimarrons are one of our favorite trailers out there because they allow us to customize to suit the needs of the customer. In fact, every single Cimarron that you see here on our lot is actually a custom built trailer. It's just we were the ones that picked out the features. This one that I've got beside me is actually a really special trailer. This is one that we all sat down, all the horse trailer sales team sat down together and we spec'd it out based on some of the head-to-heads that we've done in the past. And we found that with customer feedback and things that we've noticed ourselves, this is the trailer we came up with. So we're really proud to get this one in. We're really excited for it to go to its new home. So the first thing you'll notice is this big V-nose here. I'm gonna have them go ahead and pull up that drawing for this trailer and we can kind of go over some of the specs. So on this drawing here, you'll notice that we're 35.5 feet on the floor. So we're a good sized trailer. You have the ability to haul 6 on this trailer if you want, between the center box, the 2 forward-facing stalls and the 3 backward-facing stalls. Got a good sized front tack of 4 foot 9 inches. And then the height and width, you're 7'10" tall, so plenty tall for any horses that you want to put in here. And you're 8 foot wide, which is going to give us some nice good sized stalls. All right, so now that we're back to the trailer here, on that drawing you guys notice this V-nose here. This V-nose is something that we've been doing on some of our bigger trailers. We've been doing it on our smaller trailers for a lot of years, but when you have a trailer this size, wind is a real big issue, and getting these trailers in and out of tight spots is also a big issue. So having the V-nose, you pick up a lot of turn radius on your vehicle because you're not worried about getting into the front of your truck quite as soon. A lot of people have issues with that back windshield. But also you're cutting through the wind a lot better on this V-nose. We have a similar size trailer that our manager actually pulls around. It's another head-to-head, same size, same height. It's a little bit narrower, but I've pulled it back and forth between places, and between the air ride, the V-nose, you hardly know it's back there. And that is a big trailer to be hauling without with the ability to cut through that wind. So we find that some people will actually gain additional fuel mileage on their vehicles because you're cutting through that wind. There's not quite as much drag, which means you're gonna have to fill up a little bit less. So we love this V-nose. You'll notice we didn't do windows in this V-nose. You have quite a bit more structure that goes into these trailers when you've got this V-nose here. So you'll see on the inside there's a lot more bracing on the interior, and we didn't feel like the windows were quite necessary with all that bracing. Under here, you'll notice some of the other features that we've got on this trailer that make it a really nice pull. Air ride, of course, is one of the main things. We did triple axle 7K air ride under this, so your GVWR on this trailer is 21,000 pounds. The air ride system is really, really cool. It's actually on rubber torsion axles, and then the airbags just sit right on top of those axles. So if you ever have any issues with the air ride, you can run with it down. You're not going to be stranded on the side of the road like the old air ride that just literally you were sitting on your frame if there was something wrong with that air ride. So even with the air ride down, you're still gaining the benefits of having a little more cushion from those bags. However, we always like to point out you paid for it. It's better for your trailer, your truck, and your horses to have it up and on. So we always recommend running with your air ride on, running down the road. Your horses are going to be the biggest beneficiary of this air ride system. I've noticed that a lot of horses that are a little skeptical about riding in a lot of trailers, maybe they get off a little bit sore off these long hauls. They're going to do so much better with this air ride system. Just imagine as you're going down the road, you're pulling these horses in earthquake conditions, and that's what we have to build these trailers to withstand. But your horses don't really want to ride in that, and rubber torsion has come a long way for suspension, but air ride is still the best route to go if you're really looking to pull something that's going to be beneficial to your horses. It's going to take a lot of the vibration and the hard hits out of it, because your horses are basically floating on those airbags traveling down the road. We have tons of testimonials from customers that pull these trailers where they have maybe an arthritic horse that they're still showing, or that they're moving across country, and they can step these horses off these trailers nice and sound. So that means maybe an extra day that you don't have to leave early to rest your horses to get to shows, which means less hotel rooms, less travel for your horses. So you're picking up the savings of an air ride system that you have to pay for in other ways. Also, resale value is really high on air ride trailers. We cannot sell most of our show cattle trailers without that air ride, and these head-to-heads, we almost always put air ride suspension on them. So really simple to use, on-off button. You've got a battery disconnect in here that gives you power to your trailer, and then it's a raise and lower. So we always recommend that when you're loading your horses, you keep it in the lower position. Just makes those angles to the ramp just a little less steep, because when you air up your trailer, you're going to get about 2 to 3 inches of additional ride height with those airbags inflated. Underneath here, electric over hydraulic jack. This was a no-brainer. There's no way that we would just put a single leg jack on this nice of a trailer. It's really nice that these electric over hydraulics do have a manual override. So if for any reason you forget to turn off your battery and leave some lights on and your battery's dead, you can still get this on and off of your truck without having to wait for it to charge up. And then under here, you've got your nice big beefy 18 ply Continental tires on here, and we love these Continentals. They do really well. We get a lot of good use out of them. The 18 ply tires on this size trailer is plenty of tire underneath here. And then this is our SRW wheel. So it's very similar to those Alcoas in look, but at a fraction of the cost. So I think a lot of people really like these SRW wheels. You're going to see a lot more of these on our trailers going forward. And you'll notice that the spare is not a downgraded spare. It's going to be matched to all the wheels that you have on the ground. So you're not going to have a bum looking wheel underneath your trailer if you have to switch one out. On the nose there, you'll notice that we've got a nice wraparound style nose. So it's going to be not that VP style. This is such a nice trailer. We just wanted really nice clean lines. In your tack room here, we've located a 16-inch awning light right over the tack room door. It's going to make it really easy to load in and out at night. And then in this tack room here, you've got another couple features that people really love. People are crazy about these windows that we do between the horse area and the tack room. I think they just love to be able to see what their horses are doing. Maybe if they don't have their camera right in front of them, they can peek in here and see if anybody's causing any issues. But we do these on a lot of our 2-horse bumper pull straight loads, and people are just crazy about them. They love them. I can see why. It's a lot of fun to have. This whole wall here is carpeted with bridle hooks. So you've got horses right on the other side of this wall. You don't need your bridles to swing back and forth and make a lot of noise. We're trying to keep it as comfortable and quiet in the horse area for them as possible. So anything we can do to eliminate a lot of additional noise is really going to be beneficial to those horses. Right here, you're probably wondering what this is. This is, you have the ability on this basically 5-horse head-to-head to convert these back 3 stalls you see right here into a 2-horse setup. So if you've got some bigger horses, you want them to have a little bit more room as they travel, you can move these 2 dividers in. There's additional locations for these 2 dividers, and these will be your chest bars for that swap. So a really cool little option there. On the floor here, this is something we've been doing on a lot of trailers recently, is this rubber tread flooring. And I really like it because it's an upgrade from the rubber mats in that you don't have seams that you have to worry about. So if you've got a lot of dirt, they're gonna, no matter how good they cut these mats, over time the mats are gonna kind of shrivel and shrink a little bit with the hot and cold changes. So having this just one piece makes it really, really easy to clean out. It's got some nice tread on it, so it's not so slippery. Really, really nice little feature there. We started doing them on a lot of our cattle trailers, and we've kind of carried over into our horse trailers. On this wall here, you've got a recessed post. We did 4 saddles on this one with 2 blanket bars. Now the cool thing about these Cimarron saddle racks is you can actually add additional posts. So if you don't need as many blanket bars or as many saddles, you can take them on and off. You can add to this if you want more blanket bars. We've usually got some in stock here at Transwest, but we can always get additional ones for you to add on there. And a lot of people really like these saddle tiers because they're carpeted. They're actually aluminum right here, but the carpeting helps prevent those saddles from sliding on and off, so you're not having to worry about bungeeing them on as you travel. Up in this nose here, you'll notice we've got a big clothes rod. It goes kind of the length of that nose. It's going to be a nice place for you to hang all your show shirts, your jackets, get them up out of the way. And then you've got a lot of usable space. I had mentioned there's additional reinforcement on these V-noses, and you can see the uprights up here. They're quite a bit beefier than you would see on most standard trailers. So heavy-duty gooseneck structure, heavy-duty axle trolley. We know you're going to be loading a lot of big horses on this trailer or equipment, so we want these trailers to really last and be able to put up with the strain that you put on them. So really, really cool option there. And then you've got a little fold-down foot peg here, so you can get in and out of that nose with ease, not have to worry about it. This fold-down step is a must-have. This trailer's 8 wide. There is no running board, so it's really nice to be able to have just a little difference here to get up and down into the tack room without having to make this huge leap all the way up, especially if you're carrying stuff. We've had some people go in and add on these head-to-heads. They'll do ramps on this front tack room, and that's really nice if you're hauling trunks in and out. Just makes it really, really easy to use. Brush box on the door. Some people will go in and do a door organizer. We find that most people prefer those brush boxes, but we can do it either way. If you wanted to, we can always add a door organizer on after the fact as well. So one of the things you'll notice on this trailer, lots and lots of ventilation. So our Cimarrons come standard with an insulated FiberTech roof to begin with. So that insulated FiberTech roof, it provides an R3 thermal value, so you're going to have some insulation there. It's going to be a lot quieter, but it'll actually keep the horses cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. You never have an issue with these horses getting hot on these trailers. I have a gelding that he hates the summer, and I have never pulled him off my Cimarron trailers hot, and I've had 2 different Cimarrons. He's always very comfortable. I can always get the air exactly how I need it. Sometimes we find that you have too much air on this and you have to close some things up, but I never have to worry about him overheating on my trailer. You have these huge drop-down windows at the head of the horses, and then these big sliding bus windows over the hips. So really a lot of air you can move through there. You've got roof vents. You're not going to have to worry about these horses getting hot. And then in the back doors, they're actually wraparound. You've got big drop-down windows, and I've got a drop-down window on my current Cimarron in the rear door, and let me tell you, you get so much air moving through there by pulling it over the backs of the horses. It is great how much air you can get moving on these Cimarrons. So this side ramp here is really, really awesome. One of the reasons I love these head-to-heads is that they are so convertible to whatever needs you might have. So having the side ramp here, you can literally walk your horses onto the trailer and walk them off, and you never have to back them up. These horses here that are rear facing, if you need to, you can spin them out here and keep the horses loaded on the back. It just gives you a lot of options on how you can load and unload your trailers. We do this top door, this Dutch door, on a fold up gas shock here, and we found that having this huge side ramp here, that Dutch door that usually goes over the side, if you're in a windy situation, that thing will try and take you out. So we can still do the Dutch door over to the side, but we found that a lot of horses don't have any issues loading with this window up, or with this fold up Dutch door here. So it's just really nice, gets it out of the way. You don't have to worry about the wind slamming that back on you. And then we've got that huge window that we can put in there for a lot of airflow as well. This rubber mat on this side ramp is really texturized, so you're not going to have to worry about your horses slipping. They're going to have a lot of good grip even when it's a little bit snowy. As we work our way over here, you'll notice those triple axle, the Continentals with the SRW wheels. Your air ride suspension is really, really cool on this trailer in particular. We usually do this head-to-head setup as a tandem, but one of the things that we wanted is we wanted a little bit more load capacity on these trailers, and we felt that a triple was actually the way to go. So even though you no longer have the 3 across in the back on this particular trailer, we found that having the horses be able to get around these wheel wells on the inside, most people are hauling too wide in the back anyways. We wanted to have a little bit more axle underneath this one. We've also had some people go in and add additional hay racks or hay pods on these trailers for some more storage, and having that additional axle capacity is really going to help with that. So something that we do to combat the issues that you have on a triple axle, which is when you turn these in tighter situations, it is really hard on the sidewalls of these tires. And even though we've got these heavy duty 18 ply Continentals on here, it's still rough when you're getting in and out of tight spaces. So something that we do here exclusively at Transwest is we do an axle dump on the first axle, and what that does is it doesn't lift this axle completely off the ground, but it takes a lot of the weight off so that you're not having such strain on those sidewalls of your tires. It's going to turn more like a tandem. So we have a little button that we install here, and I'll show you guys on the other side where we've got a little indicator light that you can just dump all the air off of this axle. It'll shift the weight back to these two here, and it's going to help immensely with your turns. You're not going to eat up nearly as many tires as you would on a regular triple. So that's something we do here exclusively at Transwest, and it's something that people really, really love. We do it on all of our triple axle air rides. Right here is a center indicator light, and what that does is anything that's over 24.5 feet here at Transwest is we'll throw one of these indicator lights on. A lot of our customers have started putting them on their trailers. We'll even do them on some of our bigger bumper pulls, but this will let people know if you're trying to turn or putting your brakes on right next to you. You're 8 wide. There's a good chance nobody can see your indicator lights on your truck when you're trying to get over, and there's a good chance that they're probably beyond your indicator lights on the back. So this just is one more marker light for people to see that your intentions when you're driving. If we can make these trailers brighter and more visible to the people around them, it's going to be a lot safer for you pulling your trailer, the person that's driving next to you, and your horses, of course. So lots of lights on these trailers, lots of safety features. Makes Cimarron one of the best trailers out there. On these drop down windows, if you're using this trailer as a box stall, what's really cool is these drop downs have these big jail bars on them, so you can still get a lot of airflow without having to worry about your horses getting themselves into a predicament. If you've got just 2 here that you're hauling and you don't feel like stepping onto the trailer, you can actually throw hay into feed bags right here. Just drop these jail bars down here like so, and you've got access to throw hay. I mentioned in the tack room that we try and do anything we can on these Cimarrons to make it a nice quiet ride for your horses. So you'll notice anywhere that you've got metal to metal contact as an option, you're usually going to get some sort of buffer here in plastic so that the horses don't have to listen to that rattle. Metal on metal actually wears a lot faster too, so having this nice plastic buffer is going to be really beneficial to the longevity of your Cimarron trailer. And then something else that we do on these big drop downs is everything's got grease zerk hinges. So you've got them on your doors, you've got them on your drop downs. Get yourself a grease gun a couple times a year. Go ahead and just grease your hinges, and it's going to keep anything from seizing up over time, which is also going to help with the longevity and lifespan of your trailer. So I've got a Cimarron. I do mine probably about twice a year. If you're using them a lot more, you might want to do them a little bit more frequently, but it's going to make these things work so well for you. So I mentioned that we did wraparound hinges on these rear doors. This is another thing that we did when we built this trailer. Is I have a shipper that actually talks about the safety of these head-to-heads. He doesn't ever do a rear ramp with Dutch doors over, and that's because he's only ever hauling 2 across in the back. And if he has to drop down this ramp and is just relying on a butt bar for the horse on the other side that's not getting unloaded, it can be a little bit dangerous for that shipper. So by having these doors be able to be closed, if you're unloading this horse right here, this one, even if they get a little bit nervous, it's going to be a lot safer for everybody involved. So having the ability to wrap these completely out of the way and still have a nice clear open span to unload these horses is really ideal. But the safety aspect of having these dual doors with the ramp over, I think is really, really important to note. It's something that I think you'll see on some of our head-to-heads going forward. Now, if you're really confident and you want to haul 3 wide, 3 across, we still do that 6-horse head-to-head setup with the tandem axles and the 3 in the back. And that setup works really well with a rear ramp with wraparound Dutch doors, because you do still need to drop all that down in order to get all 3 off if you need to back them off. But for this setup, we found that this was going to be really, really cool and safe for people unloading. You've got 2 huge 8-inch awning lights on the rear there. That's going to light up this rear ramp really well. So if you're loading at night, it's going to be really easy for you to see. The horses are going to be able to step in and off this trailer without any issues. And then right up here, you've actually got backup lights. This is something else that we've been adding to a lot of our trailers. It's a very inexpensive addition to these trailers, and it makes it so easy. Instead of, if you're backing up at night, having to run all the way to the back and flip on your awning lights, when you throw this truck in reverse, it's gonna turn on those big lights so that you can see what's right behind you and make sure that you can back up safely. So, really cool thing we've been adding to a lot of our trailers. As we work our way in here, we went ahead and did bar type over the head and the back, and then it's solid below. So on a lot of trailers, you'll see a breakover head divider right here, but we found that having this walk-on, walk-off situation, this center box is such a good size that we don't need to have a breakover, and it makes it a lot safer if you're using this as a box stall. This trailer is super easy to turn into a box stall. You can do it one-handed here. I like to take these off just because it gets them nice and close to the wall there. Once again, plastic buffers, no metal to metal that you're having to worry about. And then you've got the AR latches here on the rear as well. And then all you have to do is literally, this one we're on a little bit of a slant so we can let gravity do the work here, but it slides all the way over. You've got additional locations right here to close them in on the top. And just like that, you've made a box stall. So maybe if you're going to a show and you're hauling 5 horses, but coming back, you want 2 boxes. In a matter of 30 seconds to a minute, you can have this completely pushed over, and you can have a box stall for another horse, mare and foal, to ride home with, and it's really, really easy. If you have golf cart or toys that you want to run in here, you've got plenty of room. It gives you just a lot of abilities to change this up to have it exactly as you need. If you've got wagons, this might be a really great opportunity for you to load your horses, throw your wagon in the rear here, and then you can still walk horses on and off that side ramp if you need to. So once again, eliminating that head divider, it's going to help with a lot of the rattle that you get on trailers. It's a lot safer if you're using it as a box, but if you still want to shorten up your trailer, maybe you don't need quite that center box, we can still do those breakover head dividers. You'll see them on some of our smaller bumper pulls. In the horse area itself, all the walls are lined and insulated, your insulated roof. Once again, it's just going to help with the comfort of your horses. They're going to stay a lot cooler in the summertime, a lot warmer in the winter. And then you've got these huge gates here that swing all the way over, and you can easily make a box stall. I won't close Jody in, but you'll have a big center box that you can use for horses, for hay, anything in this center stall, and it's just going to give you a lot of flexibility with how you're going to haul those horses. You've also got an escape door right on this driver's side here, and this escape door is really nice because if you've got horses riding backwards and forwards and you don't have anybody in the center box, you can come in here and feed and water all the horses, and it just gives you a nice safe space to get in and out without having to put this side ramp down. So we always like having multiple escape options on these trailers. On this right here, this bar, we like having a bar for safety on these as opposed to those straps that just go across. And that was one of the things that customers mentioned that they are really wanting to have. On these side ramps, they're so big that we can't just do a regular bar here. So they came up with this solution of this sliding mechanism that allows you to get it out of the way and keep it safe away from horses, but it still gives you the ability to have this big chest bar here on the side ramp. And then one of our mechanics actually came up with this cool little feature here. He hated how these always just kind of draped off to the side. So he went ahead and just flipped one of these that we usually do for our chest bars onto the ground here, and it's got a nice little hold there. So kind of a genius little solution to a problem that was just kind of annoying. So really cool little feature there. And then in your backwards facing stalls, you've got the ability to haul them 3 across, and it's really cool. You can just walk these horses on, back them up into their slots. But if you had some bigger horses, or maybe you wanted them just have a little bit more room, we've got those chest bars up front that you can swap out. And these dividers, both of these dividers are moving dividers too. They have secondary placements for a 2-horse across, and then you can also slide them all the way over to each side, and you have another box stall. So really cool how much this trailer converts to exactly what you need. You know, even if you're just hauling hay, you can have a nice big open space to do that. It gives you lots and lots of options. I love how everything works so smoothly on these Cimarrons. Between the AR latches and the latches here, they do a really good job of making sure that everything is one-handed operation, because you're usually leading a horse with your other hand. So just really simple to use. Everything works really smoothly. We're going to go out the escape door here, show you the other side. We did a fold-up step on that escape door. Once again, it just cuts that distance in half that you're going to have to get in and out of this trailer. It just makes it so much easier to access. And it folds up nice and secure against the side of the trailer when you're traveling. We have another 16-inch awning light over this side where you're loading your horse, or where you're jumping in and out of this trailer. So you're going to get lots of light no matter which side of the trailer you're on. And then we did additional marker lights up on the top rail there. And once again, the more lights we can have, the safer these trailers are going to be to pull, because people around you are going to be just a little more aware that you are there. These side extrusions on these Cimarrons are one of my favorite features. It's not just a looks thing, although it does look really slick on these trailers. They're actually triple hollow slats. So your Cimarron trailers, you're not going to see exterior welds on here. Everything is actually an extrusion that interlocks, and they do all the welding on the inside, on the other side of the rubber mat, so that it has a nice, sleek, clean appearance. But these triple hollow slats actually have interior hollow structures that are running through here, and that's going to give it a lot more strength. Anytime you can put a radius to something, it's going to increase the strength of your trailer. So having one of these really big trailers, one of the things that we focus on is not having quite as much flex. I mentioned that air ride is going to help with a lot of the vibration and the hard hits that a trailer will receive, but being able to reinforce the sides of these trailers is really going to help with the longevity, keeping those trailers nice and secure, so that they're not breathing in and out as you travel down the road. So lots of structure here. Your rear posts on your Cimarrons are all one extruded piece. So a lot of manufacturers will take 3 different pieces of aluminum and weld them together, and that gives you weak points. Every time you've got a man-made weld point on a trailer, it's going to give you a weak point. So we've helped eliminate some of the stress that you'll see on these trailers by having these extrusions. And then one of my favorite features also on these Cimarrons, I've got a lot of favorites, I'm sure you guys can tell, is the floor structure on these. You've actually got 4-inch centers with a V-truss every other. So it is hands down the strongest aluminum floor on the market. Everything, it's extruded, interlocking. So when you'll notice a lot of weight standing for horses on aluminum floors, you'll notice over time you get a lot of those dips, and that's where a lot of the urine likes to pool. That's where you start to see a lot of corrosion and pitting. So Cimarrons, if you walk on one of these Cimarrons with these 4-inch centers underneath, you're going to notice that you're not going to get those dips that you'll see on a lot of other trailers. It's one of the coolest things when you walk in these old Cimarrons and the floor is still nice and level and straight. It's one of the things that you can tell the quality of construction and the thought that went behind these. So earlier I had mentioned that we did a little indicator light for that dump. This is that indicator light. We've been doing them where they blink, and we do them on the driver's side, so that if you're driving, you'll notice this in your side mirror here, that you've got the air dumped out of that first axle. When we do the axle dump, it is something that you do at creeping speeds only. It's not something you're running down the highway and hitting that axle dump on. It's just to help you get in and out of tight spaces without being quite as hard on those sidewalls. So this will blink when you don't have any air in that first axle. And then when you're done, just go ahead, hit off on that remote, and it'll add all that air back into that first axle. So really cool little feature. We always recommend people keep those remotes out of their pockets. They're really easy to bump, but it is one of the best features on these triple axle air rides. And then last but not least, before we wrap this video up, is this low profile coupler we've been doing. We've been doing these on a lot of our trailers, and it just makes it so that if you're hauling with one of maybe our Summit haulers that you see a lot of around here, a lot of the times you're going to run this neck up quite a bit more, because those trucks sit so much higher off the ground. So we like having a little bit more clearance over those older style BMW couplers, and it's just a really easy little add-on there. All right, so if anybody's interested in this trailer in particular, you want to see some of our other head-to-heads that we have on order, go ahead and give us the stock number. It is 5N221753. It is a 2023 Cimarron Norstar 5-horse head-to-head. So we are really proud of this trailer. We love how this one turned out. If you guys have any questions on this one or any of our other ones that are coming in, please give me a call. My phone number is 970-309-6368. Once again, my name is Callie Say. That's 970-309-6368. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope everybody enjoyed this A little bit of a long walkthrough, but really cool trailer, a lot of cool features. Have a great day.